Do you agree with like beating your child or spanking your child? Maybe spanking is the right word. Spanking your child in order to enforce discipline, or you think that's child abuse? So for me, being Nigerian, I got beaten. you know, one of the scariest moments of my entire life was when my dad beat me with a belt because I refused to eat. But yes, I was beaten, and I just feel that that's helped to enforce discipline. And I think it's quite hard to enforce discipline if there isn't an element of beating or spanking a child. Now, some people would say that's child abuse and you should be able to be a better parent and be able to discipline your child without beating them. But I just still feel that as human beings, we respond more to something that is aggressive than isn't. So, Hitman, where do you stand with spanking with regards to disciplining a child?
If I could go first, 'cause I got to drop.
Oh, okay, for it. Ray, go for it.
So I got two kids. So I have four kids, two with my ex, two with my current wife. Um, I spank kids. My ex-wife actually reported me for child abuse.
Oh shit.
So I don't know if you knew about the football player Adrian Peterson.
Yes.
Spanked
Yes, I remember that. Yes, yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
Didn't matter all his $1 million. He had to take a plea. I did too. I had to take a plea for child neglect. It got pleaded down to child neglect, but I was facing 14 years in prison.
Whoa, no way.
Yeah, for spanking my two boys with a belt in the state of Wisconsin. So I personally can believe in spanking children. The state says no. Now, we got to look about where people come from. African Americans, you spank children because the way things were in this country, you could be, just because you were a young child didn't mean this country would not treat you like an adult. Look at Tamir Rice. Tamir Rice was a 12-year-old child who got gunned down like a man. These are the things that I feel. I mean, I'm sure other people have kids they can talk to, but as a parent of minority children, I do not trust this nation to treat my children like children. I think when they see their skin, they are something else, something dangerous. They don't see a little white kid just goofing around and throwing rocks at cars. They see a criminal. They see an animal. So when they're those young ages, I don't see them understanding. You can't explain it to them that, hey, you can get killed. So, yeah, I think your question is really, it's dependent on who you're asking. I think a parent can feel how they feel, but if both parents are not in the same accord, then yeah, that's a real tricky one. So that's a very involved, complex question.
Okay, cool, man. Thanks for that, Ray. So, Tony, where are you at with this with regards to spanking a child?
So I have a toddler, and I will say I have probably spanked him maybe 2 or 3 times, but over time, I've been able to sort of talk him down a little bit more. And I really think, like, I'm not against spanking. I think that it really does, to Ray's point, it does depend on the temperament of the child ultimately. I think there are some kids that don't necessarily need beatings. Like me as a kid, I probably only got beat once or twice, and then finally I realized if my mom said something, it was to be done.
Mm.
Versus my siblings, they go against the grain, and they just have to be dealt with. So I really do think it just depends on each individual case.
All right,
And
and
I'll
me.
add that even though
Oh,
I believe in it, after what happened with the two older kids, I don't touch the two younger. So even though me and the mother are on the same accord, my current wife, after that, you're not gonna
yeah.
catch me twice.
No, yeah, just
You're not gonna catch me twice.
No,
So, yeah.
that is crazy. Child abuse. God damn.
Oh
MB.
yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I believe in spanking. My Ironically, my mother, she used to be quicker to spank me. My dad never had to. Like I was afraid of my father, and it's weird because uh, it's not like he ever did anything to make me afraid of him. He just had that aura of not to be fucked with. He gave it off like that shit radiated off of him the same way, when you know there's a predator, you just feel, you're like, nope, I'm not gonna mess with that thing, right? It was like instinctual. My mom though always felt like, she was a tiny lady, she always felt the need to flex the muscle on me, and I was a hard-headed little kid.
Mm.
So me personally, I will not be sparing the rod on my future offspring. Um, However, I think that, you know, are there better ways? Look, I'll tell you what you need to do, and then you will either do it or you won't, and we'll go from there. And like, there's the whole timeout and shit like that. Give your child consequences. Well, there is a consequence. My foot in his ass. But
How would
Timeouts
you
don't
check out
work,
the
man.
state law? For real, man? Like, I thought it was a joke. When the police showed up, like, do you spank your kids? I'm like, hell yeah, I spank my kids. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, did you spank your kids with a belt? I'm like, what else would I use? I thought it was a joke, bro. They tried to put me in jail for 14 years.
bro, I'm gonna tell you, like
It's like, no,
on
but
some real
wait,
shit.
so a guy was about to go to jail for 14 years for disciplining his child. That's
That
insane.
same military man, if my boys was playing at the park, would gun them down. That's
hmm
what's crazy about this world, man. Don't give a shit.
No, I'm gonna tell you, my parents were they were a tag team. My pops laid down the law. You know that scene from 300 where he's teaching his son how to fight, and the mom is just silently standing there in the background with her arms folded. That was my reality growing up. Pops would school me on shit. Moms would explain things to me, and if mom, if I didn't heed the lesson from mom, I caught a backhand, or a slap on the ass. And I remember the first time that my mom spanked me and it didn't hurt, and I was just like, I faked it, but I understood that I had to fake it hurting for to give her that respect, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, it makes, yeah, 100%, 100%,
So
yeah, yeah.
I faked the shit out of that, like, oh no, mom, stop. And then in my head, I'm laughing like this. Yup.
Yep.
Because my mom used to say, go and get your dad's belt. And I learned real quick when she said, hurry up and whatever have you, I would put on 2, 3, 4 pair of underwear to soften that blow. She caught on to it. One down, she followed me into their bedroom, and I got whipped without it. My mom wasn't an abuser. She didn't whip me bare ass. But it is what it is. I had schoolmates who I remember. I'll never forget this. I had my friend in like first or second grade. His name was Imran. He was an Indian kid. His pops came to school, took a glass of water, took his pants down, poured the water over his ass cheeks, and then whipped him.
The fuck?
Bruh.
That's
Have you ever, if you've ever been whipped, if you've ever been hit with while you're wet, like out the shower or something, it hurts more.
Now
my
I haven't
God.
paid for it. Yeah, that's crazy.
But this shit is scarred in my head to the point where he told the teacher to get out of the room, and he whipped him. I will never forget this shit as long as I live. That kid cried the whole rest of the day. He went, Pops picked up his briefcase, went fucking back to work. Kid cried silently for the whole fucking day in a corner, but he never fucked up again. So there's that.
I think this conversation is leading in the culture, because I remember there was a girl. She had like an Arabic family, and I guess her dad found out she was talking to boys, and he shaved her head.
Oh.
So again, it sounds like a lot of us grew up in a house where it wasn't a beating wasn't a beating. A beating was part of life. But
Yeah. No, not like
things have
No,
changed. Things have changed. Like
and I see a lot of folks saying, "Oh, that's torture, bro." This is private school, like Catholic school, in the 80s. They were allowed to hit you. Your teachers were allowed to fucking hit you.
yeah. No, because
I kneeled on rice. Have you ever knelt on rice? Because I had to.
no, I had to clean tile. So
Yeah.
I had to do a clean tile, dig holes, move bricks. I had that kind of stuff. Which, I don't know. That's probably illegal now too. Make your kid do physical labor. I don't even know now.
No, because basically, like in Nigeria, like literally, you got beaten. Like in all the teachers and everything, huge branch from the tree. I think you guys call it a switch. Huge
Yeah.
branch from the tree.
Get a
Yeah,
Boom.
you
So
cut
got
it,
beaten.
and
So
if you were told to cut your own switch, and if you cut one that was too small, you got it worse, because then you had to use the one that they cut. So there's that.
no, but I think Ray's right. I think this is very much a cultural thing because I think for me, like because I spent like the first 10 years of my life in Nigeria, 2 years in Geneva, then it came to England. The thing that shocked me the most was how disrespectful kids were to their parents. And I was like, my God, this is crazy. Just like seeing these white kids just sort of talk back to their parents, insult their parents. Oh man, my dad is such a dick. My mom is such a dick, and all that kind of stuff. I was like, whoa. Because I just think the kind of discipline you have and respect for elders is instilled within you at an early age. And that is sort of reinforced by spanking and beating. Because for me, it's like, it's the whole thing of touching the hot frying pan. You touch the hot frying, oh, ow, ow. Then your brain says, you know what? I don't enjoy this pain I get from touching the hot frying pan. So maybe it will make sense if I don't touch the hot frying pan. So we react more to the pain. So the pain of the beating, you're like, touching this vase means I get this pain. I really don't like this pain. Is the pleasure of me touching this vase, does this outweigh the pain I receive from the beating? No, it doesn't. So maybe I shouldn't touch the vase. So that is what that pain does, is that it's because I think people forget that at our very core, we are animals. People say, oh, no, we are human beings. We're not like these monkeys or animals. No, we are special. Okay, yes, we have intelligence and so forth, but at the very core, we are animals. And you have to, and we just go to the core of what we truly are. We respond to pain. And pain reinforces what you want to teach a certain person. So that's interesting, guys. Guys, I've got to go. I've got to jump off. It's been good and great to have